Welcome to Tanakh Talk. I'm your host, William Hall, broadcasting live from Kingsland, Texas, USA, with another episode of TNT with Rabbi Stuart, the man, Federow from the Big H, Houston, Texas. Today's topic is going to be, did Paul teach a different gospel than Jesus? And this topic brought to you by Yasmin Coates. Welcome, everybody. Thank you all for tuning in, and thank you, Rabbi, for joining us here as well. If I can find the right knob to turn the music down, I'll be a happy camper. Well, why can't I hear you now? Oh, I muted the button. Sorry, my bad. All right, you're good now. Hello.
I haven't been able to bring you up on...
That is all right. You could probably just rest assured that it is live, and it's right there. Hello, Michael Arlen. How are you, brother?
Live.
All right. There you go. Great connection. Everything's good to go. So, so that's going to be our topic for tonight.
Yes.
So what are some examples of Paul teaching different than what the message that Jesus was?
Oh, wow.
There you go. That's why.
How about things like the law?
Matthew Sides, Jacqueline, welcome. Good to see y'all there. Very good. The law, right, for sure. Well, it depends on where you look.
I thought the law and the law won.
It depends on where you look, because there's places where it's kind of like he speaks out of both sides of his mouth, so in different areas. And the argument is, well, he's speaking to different audiences. Okay, I can get that, but still, it's quite different.
Look, let's see. We have to go way back to basics, I think. Okay, people think because the order of the Christian New Testament is in a very specific order, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, Acts, epistles, okay, that they lose sight of the fact that that's not historically the, what's it called? The chronology.
Right.
First written down were the letters, most of them, some of them, of Paul, and then following the letters of Paul, or many of them, most of them, whatever, depends on what scholar, then you get the Gospels. And the Gospels were Mark first, then Matthew, then Luke, then John. And this is what Christian scholars say. This isn't, hidden or whatever. This is what Christian scholars will say.
Right.
So the earliest letters of Paul are written in the 50s, give or take 25 years after Jesus was dead. Okay, plenty of time for the theology of Christianity just to start up. And the theology of the epistles of Paul then turn around and influence the writings of the Gospels. So Paul gets to influence people, and then that gets retrojected into the histories of what happened with the Jesus community, however you want to understand it.
Right.
So, and what does that mean when you have Paul say the law is a curse, the law is bad, you don't have to keep the law's only purpose is to tell you cannot keep the law, so you'll understand how badly you need Jesus, etc., etc. And then after that, you get writings in the Gospels where words are put into Jesus' mouth, because who knows what Jesus actually said? So Jesus says, I came not to abolish the law, but to fulfill them, and till heaven and earth pass away, not one jot, not one tittle will, fall by the wayside or whatever. The point being is that whoever wrote the Gospels had to be theologically in disagreement with Paul, who came first.
Right.
And when he wrote the Gospels, he was writing it as polemic against Pauline doctrine. And when he puts it in the mouth of Jesus, Jesus says, do as the Pharisees do, do as they say, not as they do, because they're they don't do what they themselves say that you should do. They're hypocrites.
Right.
But do what they say. And the Pharisees would have been very pro-law. Okay? So by putting those words in the mouth of Jesus when they write down the narrative, it's a direct polemic against Paul, who was, fancy term is antinomian. What it means is against the law. He wanted it to be faith-based and not law-based. So you have all these things going in to why the Gospels and its theology don't agree with Paul's epistles and their theology. Clearly, Paul has this very Mediterranean, pagan, Greco-Roman world idolatry of dying, saving man-God. And at least dying, saving. If you want to go with the group that says that the dying, saving, that the man-God stuff came later, that Jesus as God came much later, whatever. The point is that clearly Paul is writing as a very Hellenized individual, probably not that well educated Jewishly, even though he claims to be Gamaliel's student, but he makes so many mistakes. Well, I was actually a physicist student of Albert Einstein. So when I was talking to him about how the earth was flat, I mean, come on. So,
right.
Yeah. So Paul could not have been a disciple of Gamaliel. He makes too many mistakes in Hebrew. He makes too many mistakes going from biblical Hebrew or whatever to the Koine Greek. You know, when the text writes kingdom of heaven, heaven is a euphemism for God. He doesn't say kingdom of heaven. He's saying kingdom of God. Okay, but it gets translated to literally as kingdom of heaven, and that's a little bit weird.
Right.
Okay. So, yeah. So, why then is there a difference between the theology of Paul and the theology of Jesus? Okay, it's for a wide variety of reasons. First and foremost, I would say, because Paul knew an awful lot about Hellenistic and about Hellenism and pagan theology, okay, and the writers of the Gospels probably knew at least a little bit more about Judaism, even though they're still reflecting a very, Greco-Roman world attitude. So, does this make sense?
Yes.
Am I being clear?
Yeah, it's good. I mean, other aspects like we mentioned on numerous shows before, is that the whole idea that that Paul and Jesus never met, for starters.
Right.
They weren't contemporaries at all. They didn't go to school with each other or learn about each other. They never crossed letters to each other. They didn't send each other emails and things like that. So, Paul really acting on his own, establishing Christianity, of course.
Right. And okay, the book of Acts, I always get the numbers mixed up. It's 14, 15, 16, 15, 16, 17. It's like 3 chapters in the book of Acts where basically Paul gets called back to
the council
and is basically confronted by James and Peter because Paul is bypassing conversion to Judaism and teaching people, just go straight to Jesus. You don't need this. You don't need this circumcision bit. You don't need this
so it's
keeping kosher. You don't need to
15,
keep Shabbat.
And 6, yeah.
So
the argument, of course, the argument for that is the way it's worded on the you don't have to be circumcised after the way of Moses. I forget how it's worded, but it doesn't actually say after the law itself. It says after the way. So it was almost like he was ridiculing the oral law and how to do it. Not that he was saying don't do it.
Well, yeah, he may have been saying that.
Yeah.
But the effect on Christianity is that don't get circumcised.
Yeah, right, exactly.
And how do you deal with Paul talking about circumcising as if it were equivalent to castration? Where he says, you may as well go all the way and cut the whole thing off. Words to that effect. You know what I'm talking about?
I don't remember that. I'll probably see it and recognize it. But
okay, that's probably... give me a second.
I'll see if I can find it here too. Hang on.
Yeah, it's a discussion about circumcision. Paul is putting it down. Could be Romans, could be Galatians. Let's see. C-I-R-C-U-M-C-I-S-I.
Let's try Galatians 2 through 5. Let me see what that says. I don't know if that's it or not. I'm just going to, that's something that came up. Okay, Galatians 1, 2. Okay, let's see. No, that's not it. Oh, yeah, it is. Yet not even Titus, who was with me, was compelled to be circumcised, even though he was a Greek. That's not the same verse I was looking for, but those matters arose from false believers and infiltrated the freedom. Oh, yeah, you're kind of right about the concept. It says this matter arose because some false believers had infiltrated our ranks to spy on the freedoms that we have in their Christ Jesus, to make them slaves. We had not given to them for a moment, so that the truth of the gospel might be preserved for you. Right? If he really wasn't teaching, I'm speaking to the Messianics out there. If Paul really was teaching pro-circumcision, he sure as heck wasn't doing it here. That's for sure.
Let's see.
And I'll still look for the other one as well. Maybe I typed in the search wrong.
Oh. Ugh.
Let's see if we have something in. Man, Galatians 2 is the only thing that keeps popping up. Acts 11:2. So when Peter, no, that's not it. That's not it. Well, we can move on. We can go back to it.
At any rate,
we'll find it later.
Somebody can help me if you're out there.
That's a good point. I haven't been looking at the chat.
Where Paul is talking about
Romans 2:25. Patricia L says to check Romans 2:25. Thank you for that, by the way. Good to see everybody out there. Man, Bear, Pig, that's an interesting name. Follow the Truth, Golem, Janice Hart, good to see you. Andrea, thank you for joining us. Jacqueline, Nas, Gabriel. All right, let's see what we got here. Are you looking at that Romans 2:25?
For circumcision verily profiteth thou keep the law, but if you are a breaker of the law, the circumcision is made uncircumcision.
So he's teaching. He's basically teaching pro-circumcision in that regard, as far as I can tell. At least with the. Okay, so all right.
Yeah, he's basically confusing the issue, calling circumcision not circumcision. But there's a place where he actually equates circumcision to castration, and he says something to the effect of, "You may as well cut the whole thing off." Okay, and I can't. Maybe I'll just give me a few minutes and we'll find it in a minute. The point is, okay, is that if Paul was so.
It gets Galatians 5:12. That's where you're going.
Galatians 5.
Verse 12. Of course, context will be a little earlier, but as for those agitators, I wish they would go the whole way and emasculate themselves. Cut that out. Cut it completely off. I guess what they're saying. That was actually
Galatians 5:12. What translation are you using?
That was actually, it just said NIV. It's so dynamically different. I'm gonna look for.
Well, but that's basically the idea.
I want to go back to King James. I don't even know how this thing picked that. Let me see. I'm gonna look for King Jimmy. There he is, right there.
Well, at any rate, that's the point I'm talking about. Now I almost forgot why I was bringing it up.
That's really weird.
The point is that his view of the law is not exactly what.
Wow. But if you look at something like Romans 2:13, though, I mean, I think it depends on whose crowd is. Maybe, I don't know, or maybe he changed his view along the way. You know what I mean? Maybe because so like Romans 2:13, for example. It says, for as many as sin without the law shall perish with the law, as many as sin with the law, they shall be judged by the law. For not the hearers, here it is 13. For not the hearers of the law. I
swear to God, he always sounds to me like he's on drugs.
So it says, for not the hearers of the law are just
many
before
have
God.
sinned without law,
Rabbi.
Shall also perish without law.
Rabbi.
And as many of, yes, go ahead.
Let me read this, please. This is my third try. Okay, so for not the hearers of the law are just before God, but the doers of the law shall be justified. That was straight out of Paul's mouth. So that was in Romans 2:13. So he clearly, in his mind, at least here, he believed in keeping and teaching the law. He even goes and talks about in 2 Corinthians about, I think it's 1 or 2 Corinthians 5:8, where he talks about keeping the feast of Passover. And so he's not void of the law. I think he just, I don't know if he's trying to make friends or trying to keep from running people off, or like I said, maybe his message just changed along the way, and everything was documented. I
don't think it was changed. I think he was. Well, wait. Depends on which direction you're talking about. I think he may have begun, as at least outwardly observant of Jewish law.
I think so too.
But when he saw that he wasn't getting the converts he wanted, he eliminated the stumbling blocks. What are the stumbling blocks for conversion to Judaism? Number one, first and foremost for men, it's circumcision, which is why he's very much against circumcision and calls it castration and calls it, if the whole point is not to have to go through the law. So if you get circumcision, the law, then Jesus doesn't do you any good because you're already under the law. Okay.
Right.
The other things that would prevent somebody from conversion would be keeping kosher. But I like bacon. I don't want to give up bacon. I like shrimp. I like lobster thermidor.
Right.
Okay. Still don't know what that is. But at any rate, the point is that, and the other thing is Shabbat. I don't want to have to stay into my house in Shabbat. I still want to, whatever,
right?
On Shabbat. So
right.
Paul, in order to increase the people converting to his version of Christianity, you don't have to keep kosher. It's what goes out of your mouth that curses you, not what goes in. Okay, try telling the Baptists to go drink alcohol then.
Right. Oh gosh.
Don't worry about the Sabbath, man. Yeah. The Sabbath is made for man, not the other way around.
Right.
Okay. And circumcision, he gets rid of them. He eliminates it. Mm-hmm. So, to me, and whoever was writing the Gospels are trying to show Jesus in contrast to Paul. Okay? The Pharisees sit in Moses' seat, which means they have the authority. I didn't come to break the law, but to fulfill it.
Oh yeah.
Which if somebody fulfills the law of stoplight, does that mean nobody ever has to stop at a stoplight again?
Right.
So I don't think Jesus ever meant that just because it gets fulfilled, it's not to be done. Be that as it may, the point is that the approach of Paul is radically different because the theology and the approach to Judaism is radically different between Paul and the writers of the Gospels.
Right,
we can't really say what Jesus believed. We can't really say what he said. We can't really say anything at all about Jesus because there's no way of knowing what he actually said and what people put in his mouth. I mean, there's proof of this.
Right.
From the New Testament itself, you can show that these things were made up as they went along. So
interesting. It's interesting concept that you make that could make a lot of sense, and that would be that he, as we both kind of discussed, I think he really did start teaching one way, and his teaching started to merge. But the way you pinpointed, I think, might be accurate. It'd be kind of interesting to go back and do just a real quick overview on what order the letters in the New Testament were written and when. We may find out that is what was the case. He started off teaching pro-Torah and pro-law and found out it wasn't working, so he started switching it. But since it all got mishmashed together, due to cherry picking or whatever the case may be, Paul is teaching, against the law overall to all of Christianity. And so, that'd be an interesting quick study to pull off.
Yeah. Not quite sure what some of these things are saying, but okay, that's okay.
Let's see.
Anyone who claims to be the Messiah is disqualified under Judaism. I'm not sure what you mean by that, Golem. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Okay. And Devin Phoenix de Rothschild, boiling in a vat of excrement comes from a Talmudic passage where it's talking about a Yeshua or Yeshu or whatever, but there's a lot of reasons to believe that that's not really the same person.
that was such a common name, just like Mary is even
well,
now.
it's off by 100 years. I
Right.
mean, there are other things it says about that guy that don't match. So who knows?
And also, Janice Hart, Jesus did follow the law and he taught it, but he also didn't follow it. But his overall message was absolutely he was teaching and following law. But I think he slipped up along the way, and they documented it.
By the way, the interesting thing to me, it's interesting. Just going back to Devin Phoenix de Rothschild's comment. The interesting thing is, if you take a look at Christianity really didn't come into power, obviously, until, what's his name, Constantine.
Right, 325.
Okay, I'm sorry, what is it?
325, yeah.
Exactly.
Council of Nicaea.
But 325 is after the Mishnah.
Yeah, right.
Okay?
That's interesting too, yeah.
So the point is that in Mishnaic Hebrew, start over. In the Mishnah in Hebrew, okay, there's no discussion of anything about Christianity at all because it was irrelevant.
Right.
It only becomes under the Gemara that you might possibly get allusions to the real Jesus of the New Testament, because only after Rome became Christian did the Jews have to even bother with them. Right. So the Mishnah is not going to say anything about any Jesus. And in the Gemara, all they have to go on is what they're told by Christians about, based on the Christian writings of what became the New Testament. So I just think it's highly unlikely they're really talking about Jesus in really any of the Gemara, and he would have been irrelevant at the time of the Mishnah.
Right. So. Do me a favor. Let's go real quick, and just for a quick comparison, in the idea of let me rephrase that. I want to discuss real quickly some areas where Jesus himself did not keep Torah or he taught against it. And I know there's a handful of places in there, and it'd be kind of cool to pull those out. Or maybe we should make that for a separate show. Maybe that might be a better idea for. Let's do that next week, actually. Let's do that next week. How about that? Okay. And if you guys have any questions,
by the way, we have to remember that that's what we're doing next week, because between now and then I'll forget.
Oh yeah. Okay, so let me see here. Okay, I'm going to send you a message on Facebook right now. So that will be our topic.
Don't even bother. I won't remember to look.
But I will. I'll remember I sent it to you there, and I'll go back and look for it. Okay. So you guys make your comments up there. Hey guys, if you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel yet, please do, and turn on all notifications so you can see everything. I put comment posts up on YouTube a lot, and you'll get those notifications as well to let you know if something changes or something like that. By the way, Yasmin Coates, this topic for tonight was taken off of your recommendation from Facebook. Thank you for that. Very good. All right. Yeah, Janice, I feel for you. We're fortunate to be in.
Right, Janice, you're right. If Jesus followed the law, he wouldn't have kicked out the money changers. And Christians today will say, oh, well, they were overcharging. Yeah, prove it. Show me one verse in the Christian New Testament where the money changers and the sellers of sacrifices were usurious or overcharging in the temple. Well, prove it. Show it to me.
To be fair, their logic on the things they come up with is, there's a difference though. Their logic is, well, there's things in the Old Testament that you guys say that God said to Moses. That's in the oral law, of course, and we actually have that. And so there's things in the New Testament too that we have information to that necessarily that Jesus didn't write down or no one else. Of course, matter of fact, now that you mentioned it, Jesus never wrote anything down, nor did he tell anybody to write anything down. It's all hearsay.
Except the point is that they're the ones who are claiming that the New Testament was written by revelation of the Holy Spirit.
Right.
Okay, if that's true, why the problems?
Yeah, why there's so many contradictions.
And contradictions and things left out. Yeah. This is what is called the Messianic secret, where in one text Jesus says, oh, don't tell everybody I've come. Okay, and another one is proclaim it to everybody.
I'm going to call this next topic, next week's going to be called, Was Jesus a Lawbreaker?
Yeah.
There we go. And that way.
Andrea, a drunk Holy Spirit. Funny.
I don't mean to laugh, but that was kind of fun. That was kind of cute. Okay, hey, Frank. Good to see you, buddy. All right. Wow. It was nice seeing a few of you people in Houston. That was nice, especially Rabbi Federow. Always a pleasure.
Yeah, that was a great weekend. I was just thinking about that earlier today.
I wish you were feeling better.
I just thought that was a great weekend. What?
Would have been nice if you were feeling better, though.
I just overdid it. I'm just not used to running all that much, and by the time it was over Sunday night, I just had to go home and took a running dive into bed and slept probably 15 hours.
Right. Wow.
And I went to bed, woke up in the morning, got breakfast, went back to sleep. I mean, it was...
Well, glad you're feeling better now, that's for sure. You even
sound
better.
I was, as soon as Monday. I was Monday afternoon. By Monday afternoon, I was probably feeling like...
Okay, follow the truth, LJ. I've got a question for you. Are you Messianic or Christian? I'm leaning that you might be Messianic, I'm guessing. But anyway, and your comment, oh dear, I need to come on at some point. The misrepresentations of the New Testament here is terrible. Okay, so first of all, I've got over 1,000 videos here, and I guarantee you we've covered every possible scenario you could even imagine. And so you're new to the channel. I get that. No worries. I used to be a Christian for my life. I was a pastor. My dad was a pastor. I'm a third generation, actually fourth generation pastor, ex-pastor. And so all of my family bloodline, all my uncles, cousins they're all preachers. So it's like I know the Christianity very well, and it's not being misrepresented here. It's actually being explained why the New Testament is so opposed to the Hebrew Scriptures, what I would call the New Testament. And so that's kind of the whole point here. So if you came on, you might be surprised at some things you find out. So you have watched 1,000 videos, really? So tell me, I really want to know where you're at or who you are. So are you Messianic? Are you Christian? What's your view? And I apologize for assuming if I was wrong. I do apologize.
Sarah.
So, all right, I'll wait for your response, Eric. There's like a 10-second delay here.
By the way, while we're waiting for him, if Luis Alejandro Casquer Cruz is still on, I'd like to point out to you that my book has been translated into Spanish. Take a look under Judaísmo y Cristianismo Contrario, something like that. That's terrible, isn't it?
Following truth. Thank you for that response. Unitarian Christian. That's cool to know. That's cool to know. But yeah, it's interesting. So it's neat that you're watching these. So let me ask you a question. Since you said you've seen over 1,000 of our shows here. What is something that confuses you? I'm asking. Follow the truth. I'm just going to call you LJ to be easier. LJ, what is the thing that now that you would say that you would find most controversial on what we understand about the New Testament? And if you would let us know that, and I'll bring your comment up. I'm glad you're sticking around with us. It's nice to see that you're hanging out and actually communicating with everybody here. It's very cool. Golem One, I didn't say hi to you earlier. Nelson, good to see you. Crystal Cheney, hey brother. I saw your message earlier. I don't think I called you out though. Give you a shout out. I'm hoping I'm not missing anybody there. Jacqueline, good to see you. I think I got everybody. Okay, cool. So, so take a minute if you want to, LJ, and just type something up there. You can even call in if you want. I can log into the phone Ring Central and have you call in if it would be better. Sometimes it's a lot to type. So, open the phone, let them call. Yeah, I agree. That's probably what I want to do right now. So, give me 1 second, and I will pull open the phone lines just for y'all. Just for you guys.
Okay. If I can do this correctly...
All right, okay. Phone lines are open, 855-952-4253. I will put that on your screen like right now. I got to scoot it somewhere where you can actually see it, though. I'm going to put it right over the black curtain.
Where'd he go? I know he's here somewhere.
Thank you, Andrea, for putting that phone number up. Michael Arlen, hello.
Luis Alejandro, Mr. Cruz, sir. Take a look at the chat. And separated so it wouldn't reject it, I put up the Amazon website for my book in Spanish. Judaísmo y Cristianismo. Yeah.
Very good. Very good.
So
I missed somebody. I just saw. Michael Arlen. Hey, Michael. Michael Purdue. Hey, that's good to know. He said some Unitarians do not believe in Jesus as the whole Messianic thing. That's kind of cool. I didn't know that. Very good. All right, well, good deal. Well, the phone line's open. I would prefer LJ, if you're out there, if you want to call in, and if you wanted to kind of just have a little quick discussion, it'd be kind of fun. We can maybe learn a few things from each other.
See, the Unitarian Universalists are as far left as you can possibly get, open-minded.
That's cool.
So their services are just likely to quote Hinduism and Buddhism as it is anything in the West. So, and they are really not considered normative Christianity by most Christian faiths.
Right.
So, yeah.
So, call in, please, LJ.
By the way,
yes, sir.
Are we set up for people to call in?
We are. The phone line is open. It is. I even put the phone number on the screen and on the chat. Yes, sir. I got it floating right over my curtain area in the video feed. LJ says I'm not a universalist. That's okay. All right. I'll stop reading your text because I'm hoping to hear from you on the phone. That'd be cool. Cool. Let's see. Oh, that's an interesting thing. I would like to, Devin, let's talk about that for a minute. That is a really, really interesting point. And it's something I never considered back in the day. It says Jesus killed a farmer's pigs without compensation. You know, when he cast the demons out into the pigs, and when the demons said, well, I'll cast us into those pigs. So he said, go. And they ran off the cliff and they died. How is that a violation? I mean, we all know it is, but could you please discuss a little bit how that's a violation of Torah?
It's called theft.
Amongst other things.
Are you asking me?
Yeah. Yes, I am.
Because if Jesus didn't own the pigs, he throws the
evil spirits or whatever,
the demons into the pigs. You know, my God controls the universe. If my God controls the universe, what does he need pigs for?
Right.
He can just have the demons go into and drown themselves. Why do they have to be in a pig in order to be taken care of?
It almost sounds like Jesus was more into sorcery rather than the opposite.
Well,
because like you said, he should have had
sorcery, whatever it is. There's no reason to take pigs that don't belong to you and use them to kill off something you want dead if you're really God. Okay, so
Apostle Paul, sit tight. We'll explain that in just a minute. This is
Apostle Paul. I care about pigs when they're stolen.
I was talking about.
I'm not going to eat them.
Right. But the comment he made was Andrea said to him that Jesus is a Greek god. Now, ideally, yes, based on Torah and based on him being the Passover lamb, he is a Greek god, and we'll get into that. We'll roll into that here on the latter part of the show, or even our next stage if you want. So sit tight, Apostle Paul, and we will get that taken care of for you. Okay, so let's see. Did we close up on the last point? Because if we did, we could just go right into that now.
Well, yes, I care about pigs now, Apostle Paul.
Oh yeah, about Jesus.
And apparently Jesus didn't care about pigs because he took pigs that weren't his own, put the demons in the pigs, and then had them, what was it, run off a cliff or jump in the ocean or something like that?
Right, ran off the cliff, yeah.
So, yeah, that's called theft.
Into the big lake of water or whatever they drown themselves, right? Very good. Yep, so hello, Laura S. Welcome. Okay, cool, let's go.
Right, Devin is correct. Maybe the farmer was raising them to sell,
right,
and he loses his livelihood because all the pigs are jumping in the water,
yep,
or running off the cliff or whatever it is.
Right. Okay, so let's hit Andrea's comment to Apostle Paul about Jesus being a Greek god. So in the Torah, it talks about not in the Torah. I'm sorry, Torah has its own history and storyline of the Passover. Well, New Testament kind of conflates it with something that's really confusing. So with him being them calling or him referring to himself as the Lamb of God, right, and then being referred to as the Passover lamb. Could you kind of explain a little bit how that would put him in the category of being a Greek god, or shall we say an Egyptian god?
Well, if it looks like a dog, no, what's the word? Looks like a duck. If it looks like a duck, quacks like a duck, acts like a duck, it's probably a duck. So Jesus was so parallel. It's like It's like the old joke about going into a Asian restaurant and the menu is pick one from column A, one from column B, one from column C, column D, and that's how you put your meal together. Well, that's what it looks like they did with Jesus too.
Right.
So he's not exactly everything like Horus. He's not everything like Attis, Adonis, Dionysus, Ra, Hercules, whatever.
Oh.
But it's like pick there, and mold into something that's Jesus.
Now, that's interesting. For some reason, my brain skipped out on that part of it. My initial thought was the whole thing about, the Egyptian god, as far as, the Passover lamb being slaughtered, that would be Egyptian god. I totally forgot.
Well, no, it's that too.
Yeah, no, but I totally forgot about the part you were mentioning about all these others, the similarities between Horus and being a virgin birth and how all this other stuff. So that's cool. Holly Hilton, I see you. Thank you. I will definitely double check to see that email, and I will respond to you ASAP, I promise, okay? So, very cool. Very cool.
Well, at any rate, so as you've heard me say repeatedly, the sentence, his mother was human, his father was God, is a very apt description of Jesus, but it's also an apt description of Hercules.
Yeah, I was saying Thor and all these.
Whose mother was Alcmene and whose father was Zeus.
Yeah.
Or, what's his name? Dionysus, whose mother was Persephone. Wait, I'm forgetting already.
It's okay.
But you get the point.
Yep.
Jesus' mother was human, named Mary. The father was God the Father. Well, Zeus was called the Father God. He was very promiscuous, making human women pregnant. Yeah, Devin, Perseus, whose mother was...
Achilles.
And
Achilles, all demigods.
Achilles? But Perseus especially, because Perseus' mother was not made pregnant through the act of sex, but rather was made pregnant by having a shower of gold. So she was still a virgin after being showered on by gold, and therefore it's a virgin birth. And his father was human. His mother was human. His father was Zeus. It's the same story. Okay, you get parallels in other pagan gods. What's his name? Mithra, who had 12 disciples, who had a Last Supper, who... It's pick one from column A, one from column B. We'll take this from Zeus.
Okay.
We'll take this from Hercules. We'll take this from Attis, Adonis, Dionysus, Ra, Horus. I mean, it's a conglomeration of every Greek hero story, just like Mina just wrote.
Right. Gotcha. Okay. So,
and by the way, one more thing, just real quick. This is why Christianity caught on so fast in the Greco-Roman world. They heard it all. It wasn't new to them.
Right.
So instead of just believing in Dionysus, if we believe in this Jesus who sounds a lot like Dionysus, but now we'll have a religion that goes all the way back to creation because they're latching themselves on like a bloodsucker. They're latching themselves on to the Hebrew Scriptures, so now we can go all the way back to creation.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, I saw one. I missed something. Oh, I was going to say, hey, Sean Gibson, haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you. And now I asked the Apostle Paul guy earlier about a question, and he brought up Isaiah 7:14. I just simply responded, there is no virgin birth prophecy. So let's, since he's watching and listening, let's just hit that real fast. I know a lot of these things are common.
He's actually quoting Isaiah 7:14.
Yeah.
As if it's a.
Well, he's new to. But to be fair, he's new to the channel. He's not been exposed to all this stuff yet. So,
I'm sorry, but I'm not sure I believe that. I think he's throwing this stuff out and knowing exactly.
I don't know that I've ever seen him on this channel before. I think he may be new to this channel.
Yeah, but calling himself upon it doesn't matter.
Okay.
The point is Isaiah 14 mistranslation taken out of context. The context itself. Isaiah is hundreds and hundreds of years before Jesus was even born.
720 something. Yep.
Your math is better than mine. The whole point is to alleviate the worry of Ahaz, the king. So he's going to be told that 700 years from now there's going to be a king born Okay, and he's going to do all these things. 700 years, that's going to take away his fear.
Right.
And what he says, what Isaiah says is, see that woman over there? She's already pregnant. She's going to give birth to a son. That son is going to be the sign to you that God is on your side. As a matter of fact, we're going to call that kid God is with us. Not God with us, but God is with us. You have to add the conjugation of to be, is, to make the names, Elihu, my God, he. Does that mean the guy? That means the person in the Bible named Elihu is actually God.
Right.
God is he? No. God, he is my God, meaning God.
Right.
Okay.
Plus, well, the biggest thing, which you didn't
Daniel,
mention. Wait.
Donnie Ale. My judge God? No, my judge is God, or God is my judge. You have to add the word is. So Immanuel doesn't mean God with us. Immanuel means God is with us. So every time Ahaz looks at the kid and knows that his name is Immanuel, God is with us, he's alleviated from his fear because he knows God is on his side.
Right. Real quickly,
Okay.
because I think the Follow the Truth LJ guy is actually, he said he's at 1:30 where he's living at so right now. But the biggest thing is Follow the Truth LJ. There's really nothing to discuss about Isaiah 7:14 because there's no such thing as a virgin birth prophecy. It doesn't exist. It's about a young woman who was already pregnant.
Yeah,
so
the word is Alma. Go take a look at the word Elam. Elam is the masculine form of Alma. Alma, Elam. Okay? Hear the similarity? So every time the word Elam is used, does that mean they're talking about a virgin male?
Right.
It's just whatever.
And even then, it wasn't Alma, it was Betullah. So the whole thing was, it says young woman, it doesn't say virgin, and it also
Exactly.
the context is that she was already pregnant. It wasn't like a future thing.
Instead of
Yeah,
Tahara.
and he says no, it's not. I know what Alma means. Wow. Do you speak? Are you fluent in Hebrew? Are you a Hebrew scholar? Follow the Truth, LJ. Because I'm not sure where you're learning that from. It's very common knowledge. So.
Stumbled across this while surfing the internet. Well, welcome.
No, yeah. This is the Apostle Paul. He is new to the channel. Welcome again.
And Alma is not a virgin because Elam in other places, the masculine form, is not a virgin.
Betullah is virgin, not Alma, right?
And by the way,
or is it am I getting backwards? I'll get them backwards.
Yeah, Betullah is virgin, not Alma, like Golem was saying.
There you go.
Okay, and how can a virgin birth be a sign? Prove that she was a virgin when she got pregnant. Oh, well, we were told she was.
Right.
Okay. And by the way, remember that we're talking about a sign. We're not talking about a miracle.
Right.
A miracle is a miracle. A sign is a sign.
Right.
A stop sign is metal and paint. It's real. Okay. A miracle. A sign is part of nature.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. A sign is not a violation of nature. That's a miracle.
Mm-hmm.
God gives them a sign, not a miracle.
And the signs
So it
have to
doesn't
be seen, otherwise it's not a sign.
Exactly. It has to be evident.
Right.
So every time he sees this kid come about in the normal way that we have kids through the act of sex, it is a sign to him that God is on his side, and the enemy kings of whom he is terrified are going to be dead and buried by the time that kid is old enough to know the difference between good and evil. And how old is a kid when they know the difference between good and evil? Not 700 years old.
Right. Devin brought up the point I was trying to recall, and I couldn't remember what it was, but this is also going out to LJ. Alma means young woman, not a virgin, was even used for Dinah after she got raped. After post intercourse, she was called Alma. So you also have it in Proverbs. 3 things are wonderful to me. 4 things are more beyond my comprehension. The way of a eagle in the air, the way of a snake on the rock, the way of a boat in the ocean, and the way of a man with a woman, with an Alma. Okay, what's the connection between those? They're there, but you can't prove they were there. So a snake on a rock, not sand, rock, you can't tell the snake was there. Boat in the ocean, yeah, there's a wake, but when the wake dissipates, you don't know where the boat was.
Okay, an eagle through the air doesn't leave a path through the sky. Okay, and a man with a young woman means they can have sex. You can only tell that he was there if she had been a virgin and you knew about it, and then compare after they have sex, and then she's not a virgin. That's not what's going on.
Right, gotcha.
So the word Alma there has to mean a young girl and not mean a virgin.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yep, and already pregnant. Not will be pregnant. Not will become pregnant. So there you go, people. Federici, good to see you, buddy. I can't remember if I said hi to you already or not. There you go.
Yep.
Hope I said your name right. Well, cool, man. All right. Well, the phone lines are open, but nobody's calling in. So either that or they did call it in. I missed it. I do have it on silent because it beeps in the recording. I tried to get rid of that. So downside of that is sometimes I don't know when people are calling in. Wow, this is a really, really good discussion. I mean, it's really hammered a lot.
Messiah must come from King David's paternal line father only. Jesus' father wasn't Joseph, so he cannot trace his lineage through Joseph. So the whole lineage of Joseph is irrelevant. Plus, if you take a look at the Bible, it says that only the descendants of Solomon can sit on the throne of David, because Solomon was the next king. And according to Luke, the descendancy goes through the brother of Solomon, which was Nathan, instead of Solomon. So, oops on that one too.
Okay, so Apostle Paul says it was a miracle birth because it paralleled Sarah's miracle birth to the promised son Isaac. I'm not sure.
Oh, so Sarah was a virgin. Why is the parallel? Just because you're making a parallel there in your eyes, but not in anybody else's eyes.
Right.
Okay.
Yep. Very interesting. Cool.
Yeah, Sarah wasn't a virgin.
Oh.
Yep. All this shows translators were playing games with the Bible and not translated it accurately, so this begs the question, why would they do such a thing? They had an agenda. You're right. The only reason.
Alan, welcome.
Hey, from Guatemala.
Okay,
Alan,
so
if you take a look upwards, earlier in the chat, if you get to see it, you will see that I have a book that is translated into Spanish, Judaísmo y Cristianismo un contraste. Judaism and Christianity, a contrast, a counter-Christian missionary book. I hope you will let everybody in Guatemala know about.
So, Apostle Paul, I see. I kind of see your point. It's one type of a miracle could be another type of a miracle, not being exactly the same. One's old, one's young, but it wasn't a miracle for her to have because a young maiden in biblical times that they only really the young ones were the ones who were getting married and having kids, not old women. So, if anything, Sarah's was a miracle, not the quote unquote virgin of 714. That wasn't a miracle. So that was regular.
Mary getting pregnant and giving birth to Jesus wasn't a miracle.
Right.
And the miracle, there's no miracle listed in Isaiah 7:14.
Right, and it was just normal.
It was a sign, not a miracle. That's what I've been saying.
The normal circle of life. Woman gets pregnant, young woman gets pregnant, has a baby, boom. Now this baby's going to be a sign. Not the pregnancy is going to be a miracle. That's a complete miracle.
Exactly. That's exactly the point. And Christianity tends to want to see the word miracle. Isaiah was never going to give him a miracle. He was going to give him a sign.
Right.
Yep.
So Rabbi Singer said something really cool. He goes, imagine this. He goes, I'm gonna give you a sign. I'm paraphrasing this whole thing. It was on one of his lectures that goes along with his audio files. But he says, what if I took a sign? I made a sign to give you really critical information of stuff that you needed to have to be able to get from point A to point B on this long, winding, twisted road with miles and miles and miles, okay? And everybody's like, wouldn't that be a good idea? Oh, yeah, that'd be a great idea, Rabbi. And you go, okay, cool. And then I'm going to take this sign, and I'm going to bury it 10 feet in the ground so you can't see it. And everybody just got real quiet. And they're like, wait, what? That's not a sign. That's my point. If you can't see it, if it's not something that is something usable for everybody, then it's not a sign.
And a sign has to point to something else.
Right.
A stop sign points to the place you're supposed to stop. Okay? Yeah. A stop light, okay, is a sign that points to what you're supposed to do. Red means stop, yellow means caution, green means go. It points to something.
Yeah, Devin Phoenix, you're right. They did go with the whole virgin thing to appeal to the pagan idea. That's very true.
Right. Which goes back to what we were saying earlier. about Jesus as a pagan god. Yep.
Three Wolves Down. Good to see you, buddy. Claire Call. Welcome. You guys are late. I'm just kidding. Y'all can go back and watch it.
Right. Apostle Paul, that's what we're saying. Sarah giving birth, you could call a miracle. Okay? The woman of Isaiah 7 giving birth was not a miracle. It wasn't meant to be a miracle. That's the whole point.
Rabbi, where was it where Adina was raped? We went to... I'm
38, I think. Wait a minute.
Let me see here.
Genesis. Nope.
Genesis
wrong one.
30:21. Genesis 30:21. Let me look that up here. I think that's right.
30:21. Yeah, Dinah is born in Genesis 30, and so it's got to be after
40.
that.
Try 46:15. See if that's it.
46.
And then if you would, we're trying to find out where it says Alma for her after she was raped to give to follow for Mr. LJ. So the point being, even still, Alma still doesn't mean virgin. Alma, but Betula means virgin. Then you know that word was specifically avoided in that passage for a good reason, obviously. So give us just a second. We shall find it for you. 46:15. What?
Oh. Same thing. Sorry. Okay.
Can't find it. I can't find my Bible source. What happened to it?
Okay, so Genesis 34.
Okay, what does it say?
Wait a minute. I now know where it talks about Dinah. So now let me go look. Let's see.
And I want to
flip it over to Hebrew, and then
what chapter and verse is it, Rabbi?
It's Genesis 34, beginning at the beginning.
All right, 34. Here we go.
Say Dinah bat Leah asher yalda Yaakov. All right. And what are we looking for?
Where she was referred to as Alma after she was raped.
I think what you're referring to is something else, and let me explain.
Okay.
I think what you're the word for virgin. Start over. Okay. In the Greek, the word they use is parthenos. And they will say parthenos means virgin. It's translated as virgin. It means parthenos. Parthenos is virgin. Okay, the word parthenos in the Greek translation is the word they chose to describe Dinah after she was raped.
Okay.
So the word parthenos cannot mean virgin.
Okay.
I think the word that you're referring to
Can we find the verse that it's actually referring to that point, though? That's what I want. In fact, you know what? I think it's Genesis. Let me see what that is. I'm looking in chat to see if somebody can pull me out there. 24. Okay, here we go. See.
No, because all I have is the Hebrew. I don't have the Greek.
Okay, good. Let's see.
Yeah, most likely it would be the 34:3.
34:3. And his soul cleaved to Dinah, the daughter of Jacob. He loved the girl and spoke.
Yeah. She's raped in 34:2, and I think it's 34:3 where she's called a Na'ar. And
which is a lad.
And the Greek translation of there uses the word parthenos, which is the same word they used in the Greek translation of Isaiah to refer to,
Yeah, so it's Hana'ara, right. I see it there.
Uh,
But even still, going back to it, it's still Alma does not mean virgin, but Betula means virgin. So even if there was none or 15 verses, it doesn't matter. The Alma doesn't mean virgin, plain and simple. So
no, it doesn't. And like I said, if Alma means virgin, then Elam means virgin. Now go look up the word Elam. and it doesn't mean.
Okay, so this will be my last comment right now for Mr. LJ. He says we are not interested in Greek. I do not accept the Greek over the Hebrew. Good. So in that case, accept the Hebrew. And the Hebrew, Alma does not mean virgin, no matter how you slice it. Betula means virgin. So if you accept the Hebrew, then you need to accept that because that is fact. So there you go. Okay, I'm done with the LJ scene. We'll move on and share the show with other people. How's that? We got about 5 minutes left. So, all right, here we go. Moving on. Johnny Payne, what's up, buddy? Haven't seen you in a while. Paul Brill, I think I said hi to you. Nelson Alvarez, yeah, I think I talked earlier about you guys. Very cool, man. What's the spicy meatball tonight? Good show.
Let's see.
All right, well, if there's no calls, and there hasn't been, and there's no further comments, we can schmooze for 5 minutes, or we can.
Thank you, Paula. We talked about that once on TNT. We talked about Jephthah's daughter lamenting her virginity, not lamenting her life. We went through the whole Jephthah story. That's a while ago already.
Right. Uh-oh. I hope I didn't forget my password. Yep, that's not the right one. Oh, boy. That. That bites. I just accidentally signed out of Ring Central, and I don't remember the password.
Do what? What's the matter?
My phone calls. I actually instead of actually just turning it down or muting it, I hit the sign out button, and I don't remember my password. But they can send me a new password. There we go. Oh, that was it. What? No, that wasn't it. Okay, good. Oh, maybe that was the right one. What the heck?
Nelson Alvarez, is Machon Mamre reliable site? Yes, but I have looked at the translation of Machon Mamre, and like every English translation I've ever seen, no matter who's writing the translation, I am not happy with it. There's some really obvious mistakes that it makes in translations. So I don't think I know of a single English translation I really like. You know, they give into a tradition of translation as opposed to what the Hebrew actually says. So, whatever.
Come on. Yay!
Thank you, Alan. Please do so.
Oh, I remember my password. I got back in. Yeah. All right, cool. I was worried there for a minute. Oh, boy. What a day. Well, it's been a good day. It's been a good show. Very good show, everybody. Thank you all for watching.
Mina, it says they went up every year. You know, they went up every year to be with her. That why would they go up if she was dead? Even if they didn't bring gifts, why? You know, if I go visit somebody who's sick, I'm going to go there. But when they die, I'm not going to keep going. If they're keeping going, it's just Anyway, okay.
Yipper. Well, Rabbi, it has been a delightful show, and I'm going to call it a night. How's that?
That's fine.
It's been fun. Been a lot. We covered a lot of really, really juicy topics in one show tonight.
To me, I'd rather talk about what interests people, what they bring up on the chat, rather than bore them to tears with what we choose to talk about.
Absolutely. And that's the whole reason why we're here. So fantastic, everybody. All right, y'all. We all have a great week ahead, and we will see you soon. Follow me on Facebook and on YouTube. Remember, turn on all notifications because there's some shows that are like Rabbi Coffman has got a wedding to do. Actually, he just had a wedding today, so that he may be here next week.
Mazel tov.
Rabbi Skobac will not be here next week. He's going to be out of pocket. He's got a pre-scheduled
William.
event. Yes.
There is a Holly Hilton who is trying to get a hold of you.
I've already messaged. That's an old message.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, screw.
I just know.
Oh, yeah. Good deal. Yeah, we've talked before, so that's cool. Good deal, Lucille. All right, y'all. So there you go. Remember, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Turn on notifications. Turn on all. There's options there like some, or all, whatever. I think there's 3 different options there. Choose all. That way when I send out messages from YouTube, it'll actually send you an email. Keep up on top of things, okay? So, but that's about it. So you guys have a great night. Rabbi, I can't change screens until we get your finger dance in there. Everybody misses the finger dance, don't we?
I enjoy doing it because I'm a dancer. I used to be before my knees went bad.
Nice. Peace, everybody.
You have no idea how I miss it. Mark and I were really good dancers.
Shalom, everybody. That's
yeah,
fun.
well, I always thought so. As long as I can.
תמיד כולם ביחד, חשוב מכל חשוב והכרחי להיות ביחד. איפוק זו העוצמה, ויתור זו הגדולה, השאיפה והכמיהה. אני אתה אתם תמיד כולם ביחד, חשוב מכל חשוב והכרחי להיות ביחד. איפוק זו